Hey guys, Wax here, and in this video, I'm going to be attempting to explain what an excellent timing is and how it's different from an excellent shot. So, I'm going to give you two definitions that I think will be beneficial for you. The first one, excellent, extremely good, and outstanding. I'll be using this in two separate scenarios to allow you to really immerse yourself in this tutorial. That is the first definition. The second definition is timing. Now, there are a few definitions of timing, but the one that we're going to be focusing on is the particular point or period of time when something happens, okay? Like when you time your shot and the shot is released. So now that we have those two out of the way, I'm going to explain what timing can mean with pictures, because I know it is hard for some of you to understand words, and I know words can be hard. So I will be attempting to draw pictures for those of you who need that. So let's quickly make a mock meter. Mock meaning something that is similar to something, but not the real thing. So let's go ahead and draw that. If I can do that. Color black and brush on here. That's the eraser tool. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw this meter. So let's just make a meter that looks like this, right? Because this looks similar to the meter that is in Hoop Central. Now, before anybody says anything, this is not the meter in Hoop Central, no matter how much it may look like it. And I know that you may be having that thought, but just focus, all right? Don't get distracted by the buttons on the sides or the buttons on the top. I'm trying to explain something to you, so allow me to do that. What we're going to be focusing on is the timing of a shot. The timing of a shot will be a little something like this. When a meter is filled up, which I guess I'll do. When a meter is filled up, it will, go a little something like this. To speed up the process, I'm just going to make this extremely huge and just do what I can to fill it up. This is a full meter, okay? This, when the meter is fully full of color. Now, the color you're probably specifically used to is a dark black or gray, so I guess I'll just replace the green with that. This is what a full meter will look like. This is how well you have timed your shot. Now, while that may seem confusing, let me just put this into perspective. So, this is a full meter. The way you get a full meter is by timing it until this end of the meter goes all the way to this end of the meter, okay? Now, while that may seem a little confusing at first, it shouldn't be hard to grasp once you actually get a hang of the game. Now, getting it from this end to this end, point A to point B, will grant you an excellent release or an excellent timing. Now, that does not mean that it is an excellent shot. If someone is guarding you, let's say that this is a player and they're guarding you and you're this player right on this meter, okay? This player is in front of you. Let's say they are all up right here and you are all up right here. This will be a heavily contested shot if you decided to do one of the two things. If you decide to fill your meter when the player is in front of you. So let's do that. This meter is full, but this player is still in front of you. The reason why this shot may say excellent timing is because you filled the meter full. But there is someone in front of you, and that'll make it so your shot does not go in. Now, you could be lucky and your shot could go in, but a lot of the time that won't happen, even if you do have a full meter here. Now, getting players out of the way, you may be wondering why you're missing an uncontested excellent timing. Now let's put this into perspective. Let's say that this next square that I'll make is the full length of the court, okay? This is our court. Let's make it a little easier to see. This green box is our court. This is our meter. We need to score in this next box, which I will make red. This will be our basket. Our player is right here on the other side of the court. Now, if we chose to shoot from here to there, and we went ahead and got ourselves an excellent release timing, just like that, filling the meter up whole, the issue with that is that we are too far away from the basket for this to be a good shot. Now, let's put this into perspective of those of you not shooting full courts. If I bring my player up to the basket, and let's say I'm right in front of the basket, the other team is not guarding me at all. My opponent is all the way over here. This is an open shot. And let's say that you do manage to time it correctly off of this open shot. As you can see, my meter is full and I am shooting the ball into the net. It is uncontested and it is an excellent timing. Now, the issue that may arise is I can miss. While it does depend on what build you are shooting a mid-range from this distance, most builds should be able to make this shot. So you may be wondering why you're able to miss. Well, let's talk about percentages. If you don't know what a percentage is, I'll go ahead and define it for you. A percentage is a rate, number, or amount in each 100. And if that doesn't make a lot of sense, do not worry, the pictures aren't gonna stop here. If we size this down so we can just write with it, we'll make it black. This is a great percent. This percent means that an action that happens will happen 100% of the time. This is a not good percent. This means any given action won't happen at all. Now, this game uses math to calculate the difference between your stats and how the shot will go into the net. You may actually make a 0%, but that is only because there is this little function called math.floor. What this does is it makes any decimal form of a number, let's say that your percent was 0.001, into the first digit of that decimal, being 0. So, any decimal shots that go over this digit threshold will just floor to a regular 0. And therefore, you won't see this 001 that you could have had on that 0% shot, meaning that making a 0 is completely possible. However, missing a 100%, not as possible, because it doesn't really math.floor a 99. A 99 versus a 100, very different. Now, game physics can be messed up and Roblox can be messed up, but a lot of the time you will not see this happen. So I will not advise you to complain about missing a 100% because there's not a lot you can do about Roblox physics in general. But a lot of the time, this number means you will make it 100% of the time. Now, a lot of you have been complaining about missing excellence, uncontested, wide open two-pointers just like this one. Now, that number could have been a 99%. But if you do not see a green effect, I'll write it out for you. If you do not see a green effect on the ball, meaning that this circle is the ball and the ball is the color that it is right now, if you do not see this, that ball was not a 100%. That ball was likely a 99% or lower, meaning that you have a chance to miss, okay? A chance that may be small, but still a chance. And a lot of the time, you're not getting 99% if it's not going to be green, because the green window is pretty forgiving, especially in a game like Hoop Central. So here's the thing. A lot of you are getting percents more like 80, maybe even 71, maybe even 60. All of these percents I just mentioned have a 20% chance or higher of missing. That is honestly kind of high, especially with an accurate percentage system. Now, it may be hard to understand and comprehend how you would get so unlucky to miss an 80. 20% chances of things happening aren't that uncommon though, because if you think about it, think of any other type of game that uses a percentage system. Think of a gacha rolling simulator where you roll pets. People will get the 0.001 secret pets that are available in the game just because there are chances that you can get extremely lucky. But in this case, getting a 0.001 would be extremely unlucky. But if you actually make that shot, that would grant you a lot of luck, to be completely honest. An 80% chance of something happening, you're probably gonna get that pet, and you're probably gonna make that shot. But there are chances where you don't get that pet, and that does happen often, which is that 20% chance that it does happen. That you don't happen to get the pet, that you don't happen to make the shot. Now that that's all out of the way, let's just talk about the meter. Just the meter. A lot of people have been requesting that the option to see the color in which the meter changes to would help them. And I do think that's true, because if they can't already comprehend the difference between timing and an actual shot attempt, then I can understand why they'd need the colors at the bottom. But for a lot of people, this may not even help. Think of colorblind people with a red-green colorblindness. They'll pretty much only be able to see either yellow, yellow, or yellow. So in that case, it won't help them. But for those of you without a colorblindness, and maybe even adding a colorblind feature could be good for some of you. Now, this will add a new thing into play that even this applies to. If you think about it, when your meter goes to right around here and it's open, uncontested, and you can shoot that shot, it'll be a yellow. Because it's slightly early, slightly late, however the timing is, it'll most of the time be a yellow, which is a pretty good percent. But yellows actually are 70% or higher, meaning that this number still has a 30% chance of missing. So yellows can be missed. So it's not something that's uncommon for it to be missed. And I think that that is important because not a lot of people know that. A lot of people think that a yellow should go in 100% of the time, but the only shot that should truly go in 100% of the time is a green. When this color is green, just like how this color is green. This is the color green. And if your meter is green, then that means that it has a 100% chance of going in. So the ball will go into the basket if your meter is green. So that is a helpful way for some of you that don't know how to take good shots, or for those who take half-court fades because they're a moving specialist true shot creator. Half-court fades are no longer that possible, and the highest percent that a lot of you may be getting is around the 70 to maybe even 80 range, which is still not that high. For those of you greening them, I don't know what build you're using, but you shouldn't be greening from out there. But I guess if you do green from out there, you'll make it 100% of the time. And while Roblox physics can mess up on rare occasions, you will miss a green. But that is sheerly based off of Roblox, and there's not a lot we can do to stop that from happening. So greens should go in 99.999% of the time, in which rare chances they do miss due to Roblox physics. But yeah, that should explain any questions you may have had about release timings versus shots attempts. And we will be adding colors back if enough people don't understand this video, because I know that can help a lot of you. I tried using pictures for those of you who are audibly impaired, and I tried using a lot of colors for those of you with ADHD, and I did try to keep my voice a little quieter for those of you who get a little anxious when someone is speaking loud. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something important. Thank you. This has been Wax.